Oh, hello everybody. Hey, my name is Walt. This is Northwest Outdoorsman. It's my first video. Welcome. Thank you for watching. So I thought what I'd do today is, well, I've been watching a lot of YouTube, and here's the thing. I've noticed a trend, and it's been for some time, of somebody showing a piece of gear. By the way, please forgive the lighting because my lighting sucks, but people showing gear, and it's always the latest, greatest, most expensive, whatever, okay? And it's presented as, don't get me wrong, nobody actually says this, but it's presented as, buy this, whatever, or die, okay? And I know why they do it. I'm not calling anybody out. It's not my intention. I'm just saying, this is how, you'll notice a lot of it is on channels where they make their money on YouTube, and that's fine. I got no problem with it. The information is factually correct, so, for that I don't care. So, before we get started, please forget my workbench. I'm getting ready for springtime. I just finished my workout, getting some of my gear ready, and I thought I would show you some of the gear that I do actually carry. And you'll see, some of it's, I have high quality stuff. I have high dollar stuff, but I rarely use it. And the reason I rarely use it is I have equipment that's much less expensive, that's almost as good. Okay, so for instance, this blade, this is my favorite knife. I carry this knife everywhere. A Baron Sun, right? And you'll notice the spine, it's a little thin. Now, I don't baton. I refuse to baton with this knife, and I'll explain why. If I'm in a position where I need to split wood and all I have is a knife, things have gone horribly off the rails, which means I'm probably surviving somewhere. Now, if I'm surviving, the last thing I want to do is take my only cutting tool, and we're going to pretend this is a log. Last thing I want to do is take a piece of wood and set my only cutting tool on it, take another piece of wood and smash my only cutting tool through a piece of wood, okay? And there's two schools of thought, and I do see this a lot. They'll say, imagine, here's the scenario, you're lost, you're surviving. And they take their knife and they split a piece of wood. Okay, two things. One, why risk your only cutting tool? You break this, you're in deep trouble. Two, whole rounds of wood burn slower than split wood. The first two rules of survival, rule number one, don't die. Rule number one, I don't care what list it is, rule number one, don't die. Rule number two, every list, don't waste resources. If you split wood in a survival situation, you're wasting resources. You're wasting wood because now you got to go get more wood. You're wasting your time because now you got to go walk around looking for wood to burn. Three, you're wasting your energy because it takes energy to walk around looking for wood to split. Okay? Don't split your wood, especially in a survival situation. Okay, there's a difference between splitting wood to burn and, opening wood to get something dry. And you can open a smaller stick without, smashing your knife through a piece of wood. So that I hate, and if anybody ever tells you to do that, they're wrong. Don't do it, right? If you're in a survival situation, burn whole rounds of wood. Just do it. You don't need to split it. You don't need to buck it. Make it, your wood doesn't have to be exactly that long to fit in a fire. I mean, if all you can get is a 9-foot limb, you just start burning it at one end. It'll burn down. Don't worry about it, right? Okay. But, this is one of the knives I carry, and it's just, I love this knife. It's good for woodwork. I can carve. I can whittle. I can make traps. I can make triggers. I can slice potatoes and tomatoes and onions and whatever and make a stew. There you go. I love this knife. I carry this all the time. This is a knife I made. Well, I didn't make the knife. I bought the blade and I put the handle on it. And you can see, again, it's not real thick, not real beefy. Just a small trailing point knife. And I love this. Okay, am I going to take this on a multi-day overnight backpack? Well, if I'm in civilization, yeah. You know, I've heard it said that when you buy a piece of gear, you should always ask yourself, are you willing to bet your life on it? Here's my problem with that. If you're betting your life, you're gambling. Literally, you're gambling your life. You shouldn't ever bet your life on a piece of gear. You should know. If you're betting on a piece of gear, you don't know for a fact. Okay? Know before you go. Make it a fact. All right? I know. I don't know why I'm doing this, but I'm looking through the viewfinder. It looks pretty cool, so I don't know. I don't know why I did that. Here's another one, Hultifers. Again, inexpensive, equivalent to Mora in every way. This one's got the fairly thick spine on it, unfinished. It doesn't have a 90-degree edge. By the way, guys, 90-degree edge, really? Really? If you ever find yourself in a position where you need to really choke up and put pressure on a 90-degree spine, you're going to have 2 cuts on your thumb. Don't do it. Okay? And before anybody grabs their keyboard and says you don't put your thumb on the back of the blade, shut up. Okay? You don't, I do. Okay? Just saying. So, you know, and this knife, by the way, this knife, if I'm going out, even in backcountry, I have no problem taking a Hultifers with me. I know what I'm doing. I know what my knife can do. If I'm in the backcountry, may or may not get a cell signal to get help, I have no problem taking this, okay? And don't get me wrong. I'm not saying, like, I had a job where I would work so far out in the backcountry, there was no signal. And even if I tripped my spot device for an emergency evac, it would still take 2-3 days for somebody to get to me. The woods were so thick they couldn't fly in because there was no place to land. There was no place to drop anybody off, which means they would have to fly as close as they could and then hike in. So, you know, when you're in a situation like that, then yeah, you want top gear. In fact, hang on a second. I am going to go get my backcountry knives. Okay, I realize that was only a flash for you, but it took me a few minutes because I had to figure out where I put them. Now, if I'm going into backcountry, especially for work, and there's no help. There's no help. I am not getting a cell. My spot device is going to take at least 2 days for somebody to get me. I'm on my own. Okay, here's what I'm going to take. Right? Condor, Toki, good thick blade. If I absolutely have to split something or do something rough, this is the knife I'm going to use. I got a flint striker on there. Well, it comes with it, but it's a good flint striker. Okay, find a piece of quartz, we're good. For smaller tasks, right, the Grumman boat knife. That's for just general tasks. Cutting up food, skinning animals, whatever I need to do. Buck Vanguard, right? The only metal on the handle, the butt, and the finger guard. That's it. So no matter how cold it gets, I can grab it with bare hands if I need to, and my hands aren't going to freeze. Okay. The Tops Tam and Boca. Okay. So when I say you don't have to have expensive heavy-duty blades, in my instance, working back like I did, this is the Silver Stag. I want to call it the Forest River. Beautiful, I know, right? You look at this handle, and it's a stag handle, and you look at it and you go, what the... Right, here's the thing. For kitchen duties, see how my hand fits in there? So I can cut to a cutting board or a log or whatever, and my hands don't get in the way. But no matter how, as odd as it looks, as odd as that looks, I can hold it upside down, I can hold it sideways, I can hold it traditional, I can hold ice pick, I can choke up as far as I want, right? This is hands down, bar none, the most comfortable handle on any knife I own. This one right here. The curve fits my hand perfectly. I've got enough sticking out the back that if I need to smash something, I can. I don't know why I would, but I could if I needed to, so there you go. If I'm back with no help, and this by the way, the Silver Stag is my neck knife when I'm back in the back. These are the knives I'm going to carry when no help is coming. When I am my own rescue and I'm the only person I can count on to save my butt. That's what I'm carrying. The rest of the time, I'm carrying stuff like this. Just a shop rag, right? A shop rag works. You know, I don't carry a bandana. I carry a shop rag. They're heavier, they're thicker, and let's face it, they're dirt cheap, and if I trash it or lose it or set it on fire, I'm not going to cry. I always take a pencil and paper. Okay? I do this for two reasons. If something happens, if I know somebody's coming to see me, or somebody's coming to talk to me about something, and I'm out working or just out camping, whatever, if whoever I'm camping with goes to do something and I need to leave, I'll leave a note saying, I've gone here, be back whenever, okay? A cheap little grabby. This is a little Coughlin's aluminum pot grabber. They're less than $1, or were less than $1. I don't know about it anymore, but here we go. Boker, little cheap, $10, right? This works great for kitchen duties. If I need to cut something nasty, if I need to get into, you know, a dead animal for some reason, this is the one right here. This is it. This one sits in my butt pack or my haversack, whichever I'm carrying. It sits in there. It's always there. Just a nice, small, handy, all-around knife. This is my K-Bar 5-inch folder. You never know when you need blade. Yeah, you know, it's light. It doesn't weigh anything. It weighs less than a 110. It's got thumb studs. I took the pocket clips off because it's tip down carry. I don't like tip down carry. Just my own personal preference. Not a big deal. This is my actual back pocket knife. If you don't know what a back pocket knife is, look them up. Back in especially the 70s, going into the 80s, we carried a large knife in our back pocket. And you can see this one, this blade has been broken and reprofiled and broken again and reprofiled again, and I've used it for a hammer. It just, you know, wonderful knife. It still takes, you know, razor sharp edge, literally razor sharp. What else have I? Oh, these are just cheap little stones that I got off of Amazon. They're great. You need to keep your knives sharp. Keep your knives sharp. Keep your knives sharp. Keep your knives sharp. Please, please, please keep your knives sharp. Okay, enough of that. Just small ones. That's all you need. Just small ones. I've got two more cheap little. This is one of the Johnson Adventure blades. Just cheap little skeletonized, inexpensive. This is the Dozier design. I mean, take your pick. They're all about $10. A lanyard, a neck lanyard. Always, always, always carry a neck lanyard. You may not carry. I mean, carry it like I do. I started out with it's in my pack, and if for some reason I need to put something where I can get to it, but it's out of the way, I'll put it on the neck lanyard and wear it around my neck. Compasses. Even if you don't know how to use a compass for land navigation, and if you don't, learn. Please, please, please learn. You have no idea how many people I've come across that have a compass, have a map, and have no idea where they're at. Just saying. This is just a cheap little engineer's compass. Okay. Plastic body. One thing to make sure of, and I know this sounds silly, but make sure your compass points north. Just please make sure it points north. Now I'll carry this, excuse me, I will carry this you know, in my pack on, you know, day packs, 2 or 3 overnighters, you know, whatever, where I know I'm not that far away from help. I can get help if I need it. You know, call 911, hit my spot, I'll have somebody there in 24 hours. This same thing, cheap little engineer compass. You know, you can sight, get your bearing, do a reverse azimuth, find your way. Okay? What else have I got in here? Oh, this one. Now, again, my job, backcountry, no help coming. This is my compass. Now, this is not my original compass because I got that one in 1981. This one, you can see, was made in November 19th of 2015. Literally military compass, right? I had a buddy, his kid got out of the service. His kid gave him the compass. I bought it from him, right? Still has the little first aid pouch. It even has the instructions in it. Still, kid never used it. But I mean, these are just some of the things I carry, right? Most times, like especially on day trips, I will almost always carry an Azula. Okay, this is the Azula 1. I have an Azula 2. This is my second Azula. I'm on my third Azula 2. They get broken, they get lost. I know when they break, you know, I can just send the parts in and SE will replace it, but just didn't want to carry the weight, so I tossed and bought another one. Not a big deal. This knife is just a cheap little supposed German-made. Right? It does hold an edge. I don't know who made it, but I do know. I mean, this is an edge, and it holds it. So I'm happy with that. Real quick thing on knives, and this has been bugging me for a while on YouTube. What is the most important thing about a knife? And no, it's not the blade steel. And no, it's not the blade grind. That is the most important part of any knife. The handle. The handle is the most important part. Why? Because you have to hold it. If it's not comfortable, you're not going to use it. If you don't use it, it's useless. If it's useless, why are you carrying it, right? I don't care what anybody tells you. The most important part of any knife, right here, the handle. If it is not comfortable to hold while you use it, it's worthless because you're not going to use it. Okay? Just saying. Put that back. Okay, real quick on to cook gear. When I first started, when I first started as an adult, when I got out of the Army, I was broke. I mean, you can imagine it was the early 80s I got out. Vietnam had just ended a few years earlier, and, you know, military veterans were not smiled upon. When I got out of the military, I didn't tell anybody I had been in because there were restaurants that wouldn't let me in, stores that would kick me out. I couldn't even go into a bar and drink in a lot of these places because they knew I was in the military. So, I mean, that was at the time. But I was broke. So, you know, being out of the military, a good paying job was not in my immediate future. So what I did, because Vietnam had just ended, there was military surplus was dirt cheap. Dirt cheap. So what I got here is, this is my German canteen cup. This I would use, you know, drink water, drink coffee, drink whatever. And of course, this is not my original one. This is a replacement I bought. Canteen cup. This I would boil water in, cook in, whatever. This one I've added recently. I want to say Swiss, maybe Swedish. Let's see. I don't see Swiss. Canteen cup. And this was my cook kit for a long time. Excuse me. This one and this one are my kit for a long time. This one I've just added because, well, it fit in the big one. And now it doesn't rattle around and make me nuts. So, my point is, you can go out and camp and have fun. And if you're only going out on a day hike or an overnighter, or you're going to be out 2 or 3 nights, if you have help available, if you have a cell signal, if you're somewhere, you know, where you can trigger your spot device and help is going to be there, right? You don't have to go expensive. This isn't expensive. This one I bought used. I think it cost me $15 used. It is a killer knife. There are times I will use it in the kitchen. I use it for my camp kitchen. I use it with little sticks. I use it for everything. I love this knife. I love it so much that I bought 3 others because they don't make this anymore. Just saying. You need a good knife to go out with. eBay is your friend. I didn't get into folding knives much. I mean, I showed you 2, but I mean, a good pocket knife. It doesn't even have to be an outstanding pocket knife, okay? This one is a Gerber. I don't particularly care for it. I don't particularly like serrations. It's a good knife. It's sharp. It holds an edge. It's solid, right? There's no play. Liner lock, so it's not going to close on my hand. A good knife. And it's not cheap. This one was, I bought it years ago, but it was like $12, right? So it doesn't have to be an expensive knife. For that matter, here's one dirt cheap. This is, I don't even know who makes this one. It's a Boker Magnum. Again, it's got a bigger blade, but again, the serrations, so I don't really carry it, but you can see it's got a liner lock. It's not going to fold. There's no play. It'll cut what you need to cut. You do not need expensive gear. You need quality gear. Quality, right? Is expensive quality? No, it's not expensive quality. This is like an $8 knife. Right? Is the quality there? Absolutely. You can sharpen it. It'll stay sharp. It'll cut. You know, it locks up wonderfully. There's no play in the blade. Good knife. For 99% of what people do, for what 99% of 99% of the people do, this is more than enough. I mean, there's 1 in 1,000 people that need a $300 Sebenza. They're not. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. They're nice. They're nice. Not necessary. They're nice, right? And let's face it. I have a $200 Benchmade folder. Beautiful knife to use. I don't use it outside because it's a $200 knife. That would be stupid. Okay. Here we go. This one. This is a $90 knife. Right? A Groman, $90 belt knife. And you can see I don't carry it on my belt. If I take it, it goes in my bag. If I take it. What am I going to carry? Oh, I'll carry this all day long. $12. Right? I mean, I literally have no problem taking a $12 knife out and trashing it. And sometimes not necessarily deliberately, but, you know, a $12 Hultifers. In fact, I looked up the price. It was almost $20 now. So look and make sure what price you're getting. I don't know. It shouldn't be more than $25, $30. A Hultifers. Solid. Nice big handle on it. Nice thick blade. Yes, it's unfinished. No, there's no 90-degree spine. You know what? Get over it. Get over it. A knife does not need a 90-degree spine. It does not. In fact, here we go. Buy yourself a scout knife. Boy Scout, Girl Scout, Cub Scout, I don't care, right? And what do they have on them? They have an awl, they have a reamer, whatever it is. And you can see there's a flat spot here. Sharpen this up so you got a nice sharp spot, which is, you need it sharp to you know, drill and poke holes anyway. Carry one of these. It's a knife, right? Hey, look, it's a knife. It's got a can opener, right? I don't open cans, and when I do open cans, they usually have a ring top. You know what these are good for? Here's what these are good for. Excuse me. You hang your pot over the fire. Yes? Oh, look, turn it this way, and now take your pot off the fire. You don't have to grab the hot metal bale to take it off the fire. You're also not carrying, an extra striker, and you're not putting a 90-degree spine on your blade. Again, if you need to, and yes, you will occasionally need to really get your thumb out there and you've got a 90-degree spine, I promise you're going to have two little slices, the width of your blade, on your thumb. Just saying. Okay. Next time, guys, I promise it'll be a more positive video. If you like the video, 1, thank you for watching. 2, please subscribe, click like if you like. It really honestly does help. And guys, I promise if you do it, I'll quit asking. Just saying. Okay. Thanks. That's all I got for now. My name is Walt. I'm your Northwest Outdoorsman. And I'll see you next time. Thank you so much. Bye now.